because I have that pride. I'm a Mohammed and I'm proud of it.
Just so I didn't ask them about their heritage and that, you know, what they'd done and where they worked, and it must have been hard.
That probably gave Australia the lifeline to the outback, and without them, I don't know who would have opened the outback up.
Everything was done by hand, and they'd have a box there to help the big boxes up onto the side of the camels, and I think their life was a pretty strenuous one.
Now, when the Afghans came, they charged very low freight rates. They walked the whole way. They got through when there was floods or drought. And so the Teamsters were very angry towards the Afghans.
We fear a low, degenerate mongrel race of human beings will follow where they lead.
The term Afghan began to embody contempt, racial inferiority, uncleanliness, brutality, strangeness and fear in a white Australia.
I don't know if they thought they would find themselves living on the edge of society, because this was the rampant age of the White Australia policy, and it was race that decided whether Australia would open its door to you or slam it in your face.
Last of the lords of the desert, who carried out food and water on a string of 50 camels. Old Bija de Verish, the giant Afghan, who fought the desert by compass and by Quran.
Who am I? The wolf, a symbol, your flesh and blood. The Turk, faith, strength, patience. In my culture, we don't have surnames. When my father arrived in Turkey and the immigration officer asked him for his name, he had to think fast. He decided on Mahjur, which means visitor. And that's the way I've always felt in Australia, like a visitor.
Okay, boys, I know. Boys, for those who don't know me, there's a few of you that I haven't seen before. Okay, my name is Mr. Seyit.
Finally tonight, one of those obscure parts of the world we seldom hear about. Earlier this year in Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia, hundreds died during 4 days of fighting between Uzbeks and Kyrgyz. Not only that, thousands of homes were destroyed and another 300,000 people displaced. And then what? Well, the conflict pretty much disappeared from the international media as quickly as it was initially reported. Recently here at Dateline, we got hold of footage of those 4 dark days and their aftermath. It had been smuggled out by Karanda Seyit, an Australian with Uzbek heritage. Seyit travelled to Kyrgyzstan after seeing media reports of the June massacres.
The thing that struck me probably most was the streets were almost empty. As we got closer into the city, I started to notice the burnt buildings, a lot of burnt shops and cafes. Around the central city area, there was a lot of graffiti identifying Uzbek shops and homes, and some of them, for example, read, "Kill the Uzbeks," "Uzbeks live here," or the opposite to that, they would say, "Don't burn this house, Kyrgyz live here," or "Russians live here."
Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? You know you're not meant to be on this bus.
I will go round and
Who is that?
round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all the way to school. If you get on the bus, you'll never get off, never get off, never get off. If you get on the bus, you'll never get off, never, ever, never. I'm here on the bus, I'm waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you.
Sammy, we're your mates. Tell us what's on your mind. I don't want these kids going through what I've been through. I want more for them. I wish I had a mentor when I was growing up. I used to hang out at the basketball courts all the time and play with my friends. These older guys used to hang out around the courts, and they would tell me about how haram it was that I was wasting my time playing ball instead of thinking about the ummah and helping my brothers and sisters suffering in the world. I started to hang out with them, and they convinced me that the Islam I was practicing was wrong. And soon I began changing everything about myself. I stopped mixing with any of my friends and kept fighting with my family. I had completely changed. They took me away on camp, and there they kept talking about jihad and violence. And something just clicked. This wasn't right. Islam means peace, so why would we be talking about fighting? I knew that this was wrong. I knew I had to get away from them. It was really tough, because I was scared of leaving them and fearful of what they might do to me. I was really lucky to have such incredible family and friends to help me get through this. And that's why this camp is so important.